G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here with yet another movie in the SunFoil 5th prototype construction series. Okay, happy SunFoil Club, Association, Society, whatever you want to call it. We finally have a day where it's fit to work on the project. And everything's relative, because this blue sky sunny day is 11 degrees under the trees. And it's 8 degrees in the middle of the clearing. No, 6 degrees. But that is shade temperature. The thing is there's no wind or bugger all. So over here it's just balmy. And what I'm doing is making the rubber feet for the pylon legs. Or maybe the soles for the feet. The idea is so that the fiberglass doesn't get to touch the paint, and it just adds one more moisture seal, which makes it more difficult for the paint to fail as a moisture barrier and let the wood start to swell and contract and swell and contract and, you know, go rotten. So here's one that I've already done. It's not a perfect job because the hole for the bolt should be tighter. But it fits. Alright. And I'm going to contact cement all the rubbers in place today. That's the big theory. And as you can see, I've given you a little bit of a sequence. These pieces of rubber are cut from an inner tube. Good hillbilly doesn't throw stuff out because you never know when you're going to want to need to make a washer or something out of rubber. Perhaps in absolute necessity even resole a sand shoe or something. This is the pylon that's going to have the wires coming out through it, so I have to cut that hole. Thought I might use that as an opportunity to show you how I cut a round hole with a pair of scissors. Let's hope I don't make a mess of this. What we've got here is the ancestral Sailmaking Scissors. Every home should have one. All you really have to do is pick your ancestors. Now these scissors are particularly sharp. And there we go. We have a more or less circular hole. Whoops, wrong way up. There we go. As promised, the hole's even in the right spot for the wires to come out. Moderately pleased with that. Okay, now let's see if I can cut one out and get it right. I just use the Pylon as a cutting guide. I did think about marking a dotted line and cutting around it, but all things considered, each pylon is a different shape. It's going to be a total pain in the arse to get a good pen in there. I'm sure you can buy a pair of scissors with all today's modern technology that will be as good as the ones I inherited from my grandfather. If not, ouch! Gee, I did a bit of damage to the pylon with that one. Yikes. Chrissy smart ass. That's what happens when you film shit for camera. Well, I'll repair that with a paintbrush. You see, it looks pretty good from this side, but that part where I was struggling with it, would you be looking at that? I was trying to cut the flaming pylon, no wonder the rubber was hard. Ah well, you get that. Not quite so shiny after all. Okay, so I'm now putting contact cement on the bottom of the feet. And guess what? It doesn't look like it likes sitting on this paint. No, it doesn't. It's eating into the paint. Oh God. What are we going to do? We're going to stop with the contact cement. Would you look at that? This is what comes of not testing shit. Industrial strength contact cement. Well, I guess we're going to get a better bond with the paint than we thought. Okay, well there it is there, and there it is on my finger. As you can see, the solvent in the contact cement has just instantly opened up the paint. However, my theory is, if it's opened the paint up, then as it evaporates, like it's designed to because it's contact cement, it's going to close the paint back up again. I'm going to proceed with gluing this foot into place, but the others, they're not going to get glued. They're just going to be held there by how tight the rubber is there. And when it goes on the roof of the vehicle, the foot's going to be in compression. Or, yeah, well, I'll tell you the answer to the question later on, because I'm going to see how this goes. If this works, well, maybe there's nothing to be alarmed at the idea of dissolving the paint in order to make the glue go on. It's an interesting conundrum, but I sort of had my mind set on the idea of contact cementing the rubber to the bottom of the foot pads. Interesting. Not what I was expecting, but I'll upload it anyway. As I was saying to some people on the comment threads, when you're running an experiment on a one-off prototype, you've got a statistical universe of 1. It doesn't mean that you can't do a valid research project. What it means is you have to write everything down, and you have to approach it pretty much like differential diagnosis in casualty. You know, has the kid got a bellyache, has the kid got the flu, or has it got meningitis? Huh? Scientific research that matters with multiple uncontrolled variable factors. You can't live your life in vitro. You're not in a test tube. Sometimes things go wrong in a construction project and you have to sort of mix and match and modify, and that's what's going on here. I think it's fun. I'll tell you what happens later on. Ciao.